So, Leicester Tigers 35, Bath Rugby 22, 5 points to end the year. A very much needed 5 points to end the year as well. I've said in the preview it was a must win. I think if we'd lost yesterday, I think top four was gone. But with the 5 points, it keeps us just about in touch. I think 7 points from fourth place now. Are sitting in seventh. Sadly, quite wasn't the classic of a Tigers Bath match. I think obviously the fact that Bath went for a second string rotated side kind of wasn't the spectacle I think the full house deserved. I think the second half especially was quite flat considering the amount of people that were there, but I can't complain too much. 5 points at home to end the year, sitting in seventh. Yeah, as I said, keeps us just about in touch. Onto the game itself. It was weirdly quite a similar start to last week, wasn't it? Started well and then went through a good few phases, looked quite promising in attack, and then Pollard throws the intercept pass. And at that point, we're like, oh, surely it's not going to be a second coming of last week with the disappointment. But thankfully, it was just a lapse, and thankfully we kind of dominated proceedings after that. So they 7-0 at the time, and then was it 13 minutes in, the Jasper Wiese won a turnover, kick to the corner. The maul didn't get over, but a few phases later, Rogerson dived over. It was a really nice tip on from Ollie Chesham, similar to what Carter did in that Stad game. The defence weren't expecting him to pass, and Rogerson had a good line and went over. And the next try was really nice. I think we were dominating territory and possession, and then we got the ball inside the 22, and then Martin noticed that there was numbers to the left, as in the Bath weren't enough numbers there, forced the overlap, and then Tom Whiteley's absolute peach of a pass to put Brown in over in the corner, who ran in making no mistake. Yeah, it's a really good bit of play by Martin there to spot that. So that made it 14-7, and then soon after it looked as though we'd actually scored, and then I think they got pulled back I think they kind of like batted the ball out of Chesham's hand and got the yellow card, and then we went to the corner, and it was really nice line-out move. To be fair, the line-outs all game were very impressive, but obviously recently we've been overloading the line-out, going for the 8+1. This time we had Whiteley at the front, Kelly at the back, and obviously Bath were expecting the line-out drive, but didn't go for that. Whiteley passed on to Katu, who made a really good carry, to be fair. He was close to scoring himself, but a couple of phases later, James Cronin went over. Another one, Cronin thought he had a very good game, a lot of involvements, and then just kept coming straight from kick-off. Jasper Wiese made one of those absolutely monstrous carries that we're going to remember for a long, long time. Just so quick for a big man, for someone who absolutely loves contact. He's got some wheels on him, to be fair. We won the we won the penalty rather. Kick to the corner, and then big maul drive. 2 carries. I think it was Simmons and Rogerson broke the gain line, and then Martin had quite an easy carry to get over under the sticks. And that was the game really. That just super clinical, super aggressive. Super physical throughout those last 10 minutes or so, especially when they were down to the 14 players. Bath obviously got the penalty to win the half, but Tigers 28, Bath 10 at half time. It was really positive. It was exactly the response we wanted from last week. Really physical, something that last week was really lacking. We just showed the difference in class on paper. I think we all thought that on paper we'd win quite comfortably, and in that first half we really showed that we were the better team on paper. Martin, Chesham were very good in that first half. Pollard was good, and I was hoping that we were kind of going to put in a 80-minute performance and almost not send a message, because I think everyone expected us to win, but just to really put a stamp down that last week was just a blip in the McKellar rain. But sadly it didn't come. The second half was, apart from the start when we got that penalty try, again from the maul. I think, what was it, all tries bar one came in from the maul. It was just a bit flat. There was a lot of errors again. It's a shame that we seem to have these 30 minutes where we just make loads of errors, and thankfully we obviously scored enough points in the first half and they weren't good enough to come back from that. But it is worrying that we have these moments where things just seem to go all over the place. At the breakdown especially, Bath were really getting ahead in that aspect. Anytime we got into the 22 they were winning a turnover. And obviously Bath scored the last 2 tries at the end to bring the scores closer, which was a shame because it kind of left the ground feeling a little bit disappointed. So Tigers 35, Bath 22. I feel like it probably wasn't that close, especially that first half. We were completely dominant. It was only the second half, and those last 10 minutes they pulled back the score. But obviously negative second half, but I think we can all look at that first half and be really positive with that. Obviously the teams were very different in class, but the physicality was brilliant. I think I got here 61 gain line carries, something that was missing last week. The line outs were very impressive throughout. Ollie Chesham obviously recently taken over as the line out caller. Some really nice line out moves, especially for that Cronin try. It seems like McKellar's stamp on the line out is finally coming through. It was a very impressive part of the game yesterday. Had hands in all of the tries but one. Disappointing second half, but you can't complain too much about the 5 points. They were really, really needed. We had to win, and to get 5 points as well is a big bonus. Onto the standouts, so as already mentioned, Ollie Chesham, I thought he was very, very good. I love the fact he downed a bite on TNT Sport as well post-match. Line out was super impressive. Really good tip-on pass for Rogerson's try. Just really busy. I think he was very good alongside George Martin. Took his try well. Just super physical in defence. Made some good carries. Them two, that was obviously the first time they started together in the locks position. They could go on and play hundreds of times together, couldn't they? They are just 2 excellent young locks that hopefully we can keep them for the next 10 years plus. Tom Whiteley, another very impressive game. Thought last week he was maybe a bit disappointing, but so was everyone. But the stat game he was very good, and yesterday he was very good as well. Kicked really well. I think every single one of them was on the money. Obviously that pass for the Brown try was absolutely pinpoint, super impressive. Probably one of his best games in a Tigers shirt alongside that stud game. Harry Simmons, someone who's obviously really struggled with injury this season and, to be honest, throughout his career, but when he got the ball he looked really dangerous. There was one carry that he made that I think he maybe beat a couple of defenders. I think he beat 6 defenders in total, but he's got some really good feet. Made a good carry in the lead up to the Martin try as well. It's just great to see him out there. Hopefully he can put a few games together whilst the other wingers are out injured. Jasper Wiese, just same old story. We're going to miss him so much when he leaves at the end of the season. And if it's this Japanese Division 2 club, those poor players, those poor semi-pro part-time players that are going to have to defend him next season. Good luck to them, that's all I'll say. That one absolutely monstrous carry will live long in the memory. 98 metres gained. Got a turnover as well. He was just absolutely phenomenal yet again. But player of the match for me has got to be Mike Brown. Just incredible. 38 years old and still putting in performances like yesterday. He was just absolutely everywhere. Obviously took his try well. He's one of those like nuggety players. He loves the contact. He loves just getting his head in the dark places. Lots of times when we're defending our 5 metre line, he's in there trying to win the turnover, trying to cause a little bit of chaos. Big few interventions in defence, just on the wing as well, out of position, and he looked like he'd played there his whole career. Mike Brown is just absolute superhuman, absolute legend. Obviously, 69th Premiership try, pushing them up to the 9th of the all-time top try scorers. It looks all being well that we're going to keep him till the end of the season, and that's rightly so. He's been absolutely brilliant this season, one of the best backs for us. Yeah, definitely player of the match for me, Mike Brown yesterday. So, 10 games gone now, 25 points, sitting 7th, 7 points off 4th. And then we go on to Saracens at home next week, which is arguably our biggest game of the season. That'll really tell if we can push on and make a charge like we did last season for top 4, or if it will just be a kind of mid-table finish. If we want to get top 4, we've got to win next week, and if we put in a big performance and beat Saracens, I think that'll really start the momentum to make a late charge at the table. Hopefully we'll have a few of our injured players back. Obviously, we struggled in terms of selection, having to pick the 6-2 bench, which weirdly didn't really make much impact that we hoped. But hopefully we have a few more injured players back next week, and up against a good Saracen side. On to Sarries next week. Biggest game of the season so far.